Hello and welcome to Super OK, where we try to do a decent enough job to entertain people with our opinions on video games. As always, my name is Dale and I am joined here by two excellent human beings. We're going to start off with Gannon. Gannon, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. It's a wonderful day. I'm here to record a podcast. Put on my best Nostradamus impression.
What if you weren't here to record a podcast? What if you were just like fucking confused as hell?
I mean, I kind of am. Like, I don't know the time ever because I think that I live in Eastern time zones sometimes, and I don't know. So actually, I really shouldn't be here because this is way earlier than I thought it was going to be.
You know what? A fair point. A fair point.
We're unbelievably accommodating to you an hour early, but I love it. So thanks for being here.
And by the way, that person who just thanked Gannon, that's Brodie. Thanks for being here yourself, bud. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay.
Now, what was that?
It was the air horn thing.
Were you trying to do a DJ air horn?
Yeah. I was doing
your
it.
DJ Gannon, can I hear your DJ air horn?
Well, I don't know.
I think all of them are,
I think they're all great. I thought it was three perfect DJ.
We did
air
it.
horns.
We tried it.
All right, guys. Well, let's
beep,
call it a
beep,
wrap.
beep.
Yeah. All right. So today we're
2023
doing
is in the books.
Wrap it up.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that's my new highlight of the week. But normally we talk about our highlight of the week, which is a thing that made our week a little bit better, a little bit brighter, a little bit nicer to live in. And we're going to share all of those. Nobody can have the three perfect DJ air horns, though. So you got to think of a different one. I know that was going to be all of ours. Brodie, what do you got?
I have maybe one of the silliest ones. I'm glad you're letting me go first. My highlight of the week is right out of 2014, and that is a little game from 505 Studios called Gems of War that I believe Dale is probably pretty familiar with. If I recall correctly, you used to play that game back in the day. It was like, yeah, the sequel to Puzzle Quest 2, kind of, sort of, not really. And
why? You know what year it is, right?
I think so.
What has happened here to make you play this ancient puzzle game?
Here's the deal. So I went on. I'm trying to fill up my Steam Deck with stuff that I could play like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, right? So because I don't just want the thing to be like all roguelikes. So what I wanted to do is I downloaded the early access for Puzzle Quest 3, and I played it a little bit, and I'm like, I'll be honest, this game kind of sucks. And then I went back and I was like, okay, well, I could download one of the old Puzzle Quest games and play that through again. But Gems of War is free, and I never played it back in the day. So why don't I play it now? And it's real good.
Wait, you never played it when it first came out?
I did not. I had it installed on my phone and played it for about 10 minutes. Mara played the absolute shit out of that game. In fact, she hadn't played it for at least, I think, 4 years, logged in and was like level 200. And, she keeps asking me, oh, do you have this unlocked? And I'm like, I'm level like 17. No, I don't. All that shit unlocks at level like 30 plus. But no, I didn't play it back in the day. Playing it now, it's very cool. I love all the build kind of synergies and stuff that you can do. It seems like you have way more freedom than Puzzle Quest. It's kind of the blessing and the curse of that game. So anyways, I've had a fuck ton of fun playing that alongside Monster Hunter Rise. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun this week playing it.
Really weird ancient puzzle game that you chose, but I like it.
Yeah, I want to go back. You said that you didn't want your Steam Deck just to be full of roguelike. Is someone like auditing your Steam Deck library and is like, Brodie, if you do not have more game diversity, like, is that just like, where does that motivation come from?
No, but this definitely happened with my Switch, where like I realized at some point that Mario and Nintendo first party games notwithstanding, it was like all roguelikes, and I was like, oh, I mean, I'm not even playing most of these. I should probably like throw in some other shit just to kind of diversify the game portfolio. So yeah, that's
all right. Wu-Tang Clan game portfolio. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
I'm going to go
fine.
next because I just finished hosting my family Christmas. My sister and all the nibblings came in from Chicago. My mom came over. My brother came over. I've got, a whole bunch of awesome people who were all in my house. We had a Polish feast like we always do. We had a bunch of pierogi and some kielbasa and, the whole deal. And it was awesome. My sister is getting married, which is pretty exciting.
Ooh.
She got a baby on the way, so I got another nibbling coming, so that's exciting. I got to play Magic with my nephews. That was great. And at one point, I was just like, "Hey, Neil, let me see your hand so I can tell if I've won or not." So that was fun. But without a doubt, the most ridiculous part of all of it was the Christmas gift given to me by my brother, which is a bastard sword practice sword. It's
Nice.
just a plastic hand and a half sword. It is ridiculous. It's hard enough that if I hit you with it, it would break bones. It is ludicrous that this is a thing I now own. And so I'm incredibly grateful for it. I love it deeply. That was the sound of it hitting the ground. It's heavy.
I love how you end up with this random arsenal of strange weapons.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Of course, it's the obligatory. This is an audio medium, but the sword that Dale was showing is no joke, and it's totally black. It's all murdered out, and it he could beat people down with it.
I want to make that abundantly clear. It's not but it will mess somebody up. It is crazy.
Yeah, if I'm, they're supposed to be weighted close enough that if you were to replace it with a metal sword, that's why it's a practice sword, so you can get used to using something at that level. They're used for like different training for combat, for stage combat and stuff like that. So that's a little safer.
A little, yeah. Little being the operative word. Gannon, what's your highlight of the week?
My highlight of the week is a wonderful little game that I picked up called Chained Echoes. It's everything that you wanted. It's everything you remembered the SNES JRPGs to be. If you were to go back and play a JRPG now, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's some grinding and stuff. If you haven't been going back consistently, this captures that feel of the old school SNES JRPGs, and with a fantastic storyline, a great cast of characters, a very interesting battle mechanic with this overdrive system. So you don't just spam your AoE attacks all the time, because if you do that, you're going to die. And it actually takes some pretty good strategy to make it through it successfully. And it's got a really interesting leveling system where there's not traditional levels, but as you go through and you complete different things throughout the game, or you defeat different level bosses throughout the game, then you get new skills and that's how you level up. And it's really it's taken a hold of my time. It's something I would recommend you put on your Steam Deck, Mr. Brodie. It's I play it mainly on my Steam Deck or here on the PC. I know it's out on Switch. It's on Game Pass as well too.
Nice.
It was developed by one dude, and I'm going to be surprised if next year at the Game Awards it is not listed up there for the best 2023 indie game, because I think it would fall underneath that category since it came out late December or early December, after the awards had all been tallied. So definitely a fantastic game.
I tried watching you play some of this, and it's one of those games where it's obvious to me that it's the systems build on each other and all of that, because I was watching you and I had no clue what was going on. And it was so confusing, and you were trying to explain stuff, and there were words I had never heard. It was insane, but it also looked like a faithful recreation of any of those SNES era RPGs. And it looks like something that I want to get into, but it's one of those things where it's all right, when I play this game, it's probably going to have to be the only game I play. And so
I wouldn't say that. I think you're just looking probably from the outside. It probably feels like that, but once you it's mainly that there's a drive system in the top. Certain attacks make it go up, and certain attacks go down, and they have iconography. So you don't even have to like memorize which attacks will make it go up and down. You just look at the icon and say, "Oh, is that the icon that will make it go down?" Nope. Everything else will make it go up.
And just
you
real
lost
quick,
me at drive system.
Yeah, is that like an initiative thing? Is it like turn order?
No, it's like a bar. It's a bar at the top in the top left corner that there's it goes from your yellow, green, red. Yellow means nothing. Green is like you want to be in this area. And then red means you've overheated essentially.
Okay.
And then when that happens, you take more damage.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's just about balancing kind of your attacks in the right way.
Yeah, certain attack everything increases. Like when you take damage, when you deal damage, it increases the drive system unless you use the attack that is the attack type that is delineated by the game. It says like debuffs will like decrease it, and it's based off of the emblem that's next to the attack. And if you choose one of your characters that can do that, then it will decrease the drive system, and you can stay within that perfect realm. So it adds a whole nother element of strategy to it.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, this is one of like 6 disparate systems that I was like, I don't know what's happening here. He was like at one point combining gems. He was like eating food to like change the drives. Like shit was wild up in the streets.
Well, maybe, but like apparently the critics have spoken, and this is a game worth playing because on Metacritic it's at a 92 for PC and a 93 for Switch. So yeah, this sounds like a real valid, real strong recommendation. So
I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't play it. I'm just saying get ready to get ready to invest into it. That's my thought process. Yeah, obviously Gannon can speak better having played it, but
that's fair.
Yeah. Cool. What year did that come out, Gannon?
2022, the late 2022.
What a hell of a year for video games, huh? I mean, you got games like Elden Ring, you got games like Tunic, you got your Lost Arks. I don't know why that made this list. You got your Neon Whites, you got your God of War Ragnarok, your Vampire Survivors. Brodie wrote Ace Angler, but I refuse to say it. That game is shit ass. It is garbage fishing for garbage people. If you like Ace Angler, delete it and then find a new game. Play the Chained Echoes one. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, there were a bunch of games that got massive amounts of love. If you want to know our personal thoughts on 2022 in general, you can go back to our year in review 2022 episode. It was like 1 or 2 before this. You probably already listened to it, but if you didn't, man, what a good episode. You should go check it out. We're all on it. It's great. But today, we're going to put on our Nostradamus robes. We're going to look forward. We're going to, predict the future of 2023. We call it a 2023 preview, but really it's 2023 pull shit out of our ass and see what we think the year is going to be about. We're going to break down what we're looking forward to the most, and we can express our sadness later on because of how unbearably wrong we were back when we recorded this. It should be good. Brodie, what was your opinion of Elden Ring in this episode last year?
Oh yeah, not good. I did not want to play it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I famously said that Breath of the Wild 2 was going to get delayed also. So
yeah, nailed that.
I'm batting 1,000, baby. All right, let's start with a bang. What is your number one most anticipated game of 2023? I will go first because Brodie filled my answer in for me, and he was correct. My answer is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I love this game. I've talked about it so much, but basically it is like the spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio, Jet Set Radio, however you want to say it. And it looks like it's going to fucking rule. It got delayed to this year. I'm fine with it. Delay it for as long as it needs to be delayed. I just want the game to be amazing. And everything that I've seen of it looks like it's going to be amazing so far.
So full disclosure, I repurposed some of the stuff from last year's outline when we were doing this, and it's not that I wrote it in, it's that I didn't change anything. So this was your most anticipated game last year. But hey, A for consistency, for real. And I absolutely love how unwaveringly hyped you are for this game. I hope it's everything that you want it to be, for real.
It's like my Viagra.
I hope you pre-order it.
That's he won't. He should.
I've wish listed it. Does that count?
No.
Oh,
I'm gonna laugh.
all
I'm
right.
gonna cancel the game because there's not enough pre-orders.
Yeah, pre-order it, you coward. Do it. Do the worst thing ever. So I'll go ahead and go next. This shouldn't surprise anyone.
With the
so for me,
worst thing ever.
So for me, it's going to be Diablo 4. No big surprise there with how big of a fan of Diablo 3 I am. I will say this, that near the end of 2022, a bunch of the folks who had done kind of the early gameplay builds of the game had their embargo had ended, and so they were writing stuff about the game, and it actually just made my want to play this game even worse, because they were saying like this could very well be a game of the year contender, if not the winner of this, because all the systems feel fucking great. There's some stuff that feels a little unfinished, but it's a pre-release build. They only had one act available, about 12 to 15 hours. Anyways, the game looks incredible. I like that they are changing up the art style. I didn't hate on the art style for Diablo 3. I thought it was fine, but I like that they're making it kind of more compelling, more kind of grimdark. It always fits with the other art styles, and like the skill trees and customization and other stuff. The game looks fucking fantastic, and I cannot wait to play it. So Diablo 4.
Now, what if it comes out and it has the same monetization as Diablo Immortal?
As of this moment in time, I'm very excited for Diablo 4. If it comes out and the monetization sucks real hard, I'm gonna be real sad. I'm gonna still play it, probably longer than I should, and then I will be very sad.
He's gonna be real poor.
Hey,
is what he's saying. He won't be here next year because he won't pay his internet bill.
Hold on. So not only have I not played Diablo Immortal since maybe July, but I only spent $3 on that game for the season pass. For the record.
Now, what if Diablo 4 comes out and Bobby Kotick still works at Activision Blizzard?
Oh, you know he will. They can't fucking carry him out of that building.
So you're just resigned to it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's
okay.
It's my favorite game series. I'm gonna play it. Like I get it, and it's absolute dog shit that this stuff is still happening, but I'm gonna play it.
Okay. We might talk about, an analogy to that later on. So maybe Gannon, what are you stoked on?
I mean, I've been pretty vocal in my episodes lately that I'm a fighting game person now. So Street Fighter 6 is definitely my number one game for 2023 as of this moment. I'm very excited to get in at the ground level of a fighting game. I've never actually had the experience of having, like, even the closest that I have is Guilty Gear Strive, and that still came out not that long ago. So I'm excited to be able to get in and kind of figure out the game with everybody else. I loved my time with the beta, and I'm very excited for it.
Nice. I actually really like that, because I feel like our group doesn't have a ton of fighting game representation aside from I know, Dale, you've had historically like your love for Soul Calibur and whatnot. So I'm glad that we have some hype for fighting games on here, because I don't think we had any last year, and maybe even not the year before.
I mean, there also weren't like any like
major releases
fighting games that came out last year. So
yeah,
it was kind of hard to be hyped for a genre that just wasn't represented. It's real wild to me, by the way, that like Tekken and Street Fighter are coming out the same year or like real close to one another, because you would think that they would want to stagger those releases so that way they could get all of the audience instead of just some of the audience. But no, they're like, pick a side right now, which I respect.
So challenge mode, they have to release now the same month.
Yeah.
That would be quite the surprise. And the only thing that we have of Tekken is like the tiniest little gameplay footage and trailers. So I don't think Tekken's coming out in 2023. I think it'll be a 2024 release.
Yeah, I think it'll be early 2024. We'll see.
Would be the smart move.
Yes. So what else are you hyped for? What's not your number one, and why?
I'll go. Fire Emblem Engage comes out in like later this week. I'm very excited for that.
That's the toothpaste game, right?
That's the toothpaste game where you play with a Colgate head. Yep, very excited for that. It pulls a lot of the heroes from the past Fire Emblem games, so definitely gets a lot of that nostalgia. But you don't have to have the systems of Fire Emblem Echoes or whatever it is, the mobile game where you pay a lot of money to play it. So I'm excited to see some of my favorite characters come back into the Fire Emblem series in a traditional Fire Emblem. Obviously, with the Fire Emblem Warriors, you've been able to get some of those people back, and you get to see them in Smash Bros.
I was going to say, I've never spent any time with one of the Fire Emblem games. Are they all named as badly as the Smash Bros characters? Is it like Marth and shit like that?
Marth, Roy, yeah.
Yeah, you get some interesting names. Ike, yeah.
I mean,
Ike.
Roy and Ike are at least like, all right, but what's a Marth?
It's a character. I mean, they have Lynn. Lynn was a main character. They have they got some other weird ones. What's the one from oh, she's the one, she's in Smash. I can never remember her name, but
Lucinda?
No, not Lucinda. That's isn't that
I don't know, man. I'm drunk.
You got Boop the dog.
Yeah, Boop the dog. Yeah, that's a great Fire Emblem character. You guys put me on the spot with questions like this, and I never.
I'm sorry.
Names.
I wanted to know if they all had bad names.
Well, okay, so Fire Emblem notwithstanding, like what else?
Yeah, what else?
What else is gonna do it for you this year?
The other things that I'm looking forward to are Star Wars Jedi Survivor in March. The obviously Breath of the Wild 2, well, Tears of the Kingdom, and Final Fantasy 16.
Final Fantasy 16 looks so good. It looks so good. It is also on my list, along with Atomic Heart.
Oh, that game looks wild.
Yeah, it looks like a real weird, like BioShock, but in Soviet Russia move. Have a Nice Death is officially releasing. It's been in early access for a little while now, but it's officially coming out this year. And then there's this game that I just got turned on to called Storyteller, which is published by Annapurna. And it looks like almost like a Scribblenauts, but where you use individual components to tell a story, right? And so it's like, tell a story of heartbreak. And it gives you a man and a woman and a tombstone and love, right? And it's like, use that to do whatever you want. And maybe in your story, the man survives. And maybe in someone else's story, the woman survives. Maybe they both are dead. Like, there's all sorts of crazy shit that you can do to like complete each of the stories that you're telling. And it looks pretty fun.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Annapurna has been on it with like adventure games and kind of like interesting takes on stuff. So I would probably anticipate that being a pretty creative game. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, looks fun.
Sounds interesting. So for me, I'm going to say probably pretty close to the beaten path on this one. So it's going to be Tears of the Kingdom for me. Obviously, not much we need to say that hasn't already been said about that game. I'm going to go ahead and throw Starfield out there. Like, I'm going to play it. We'll see how it is. I always love the Bethesda games, even if they're hot messes, especially when they release. Ugh. I think it's going to be interesting. We'll see. Sounds like there might be a little too much game there, but we'll find out. And then Star Wars Jedi Survivor was honestly one that wasn't even on my radar until the Game Awards, and I started doing some research, and I was like, no, this game looks fucking amazing. So yeah, I definitely want to play that this coming year. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
You played the last one, right?
False.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet either. I heard it was good.
Goodness. It's amazing. Dale, you'll probably like it. You've gotten better at your Souls-like games. You've enjoyed them more. But Brodie, it's Star Wars Souls-like. It's amazing.
No. Dude, I have looked at that game on like Game Pass and other things, EA Play or whatever it is, a number of times. And every time I've looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to play that. And I never fucking download it like an idiot. So this one might show up on the next question mysteriously.
Hey. All right. Well, speaking of the next question, what games are we hoping to spend more time playing in 2023 that we neglected last year? Brodie, I guess we'll let you go first.
Yeah, so I think that I'm going to add Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to this list.
He's typing it in right now.
I know. That was not on the list before.
If you're on the Patreon and you can see our show notes, just know that shit was added in real time.
But it needed to be added. But honestly, the games that I just need to keep playing or play more of, I never finished Ragnarok like a fucking idiot. I just got sidetracked in a million different things. And so I need to go back and finish Ragnarok. That game was great. And then the other one, which I actually have started playing again, and I've talked about it a bunch, is Monster Hunter Rise, that I am playing again. And I just I get so like addicted to those games and the loop, and like just it's so good, man. So that's the one that like I am making this happen right now, but that was going to be on my list for sure. Going into the year,
we just started. Clay and I were looking for a game to play together that was not Dark Tide anymore, because I'm getting a little tired of the horde mode games, and we picked up Rise to start playing again, and it's really interesting going back to it now after playing all the way through what was base Sunbreak, and like going back to original Rise and like losing a lot of those abilities that I had in Rise, because it's or in Sunbreak, but it's still very good. I'm very excited to get us to Sunbreak.
So, question for you. So, are you still Insect Glaive, and is he still Charge Blade?
No. So, actually, in Rise, when I went back and played through it and beat it, I actually went to Demon Blades. I think it was at your suggestion a long time ago. With you and Mare when we were playing or talking in Discord, and I ended up playing Demon Blades and played through that all the way through Rise and enjoyed that. And then in Sunbreak, I played a lot of Demon Blades, and then I switched to Longsword, and I haven't looked back from Longsword.
Right on. Yeah, Longsword is fun. I've been playing two things primarily. I've been playing light bowgun, some really good mobility stuff there. Plus the ammo management and stuff just feels really good. And then I've started fucking around with gun lance a little bit on the side too, just being the polar opposite. So instead of like being able to run all over the battlefield, I'm just standing there absorbing the huge monster hits with my shield and then blowing them up. So
nice,
fun game.
Clay is actually, he's playing through Hunting Horn right now. That's what he started with.
Oh,
he enjoyed the Hunting Horn. So
that's so complicated, though.
I know, but he likes. I mean, so is Charge Blade.
Yeah, I guess so. Fair enough.
The fact that there's a hunting horn as a weapon inside Monster Hunter will never not be funny to me.
The best thing is it's like you think horn, right? But it's just a hammer that you hit things, and it's like if you cover up the right holes while you hit something, it plays a different tune. It's like if you're beating someone to death with bagpipes, and it makes me laugh.
Exactly it. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. All right, games that I am going to spend some time with this year. Elden Ring, I somehow not only didn't I not play it, but I also didn't get spoiled at all on it. So I just started it on my stream. I'm 4 hours in. I got to what I guess is the first boss. I don't know. Maybe I missed 5 bosses because this motherfucker seems hard as hell. I don't know. It's open world, right? You could just walk past a boss. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I own like a bunch of Switch games that I just have not played yet. Like I have Axiom Verge on the Switch that I haven't played, and Axiom Verge 2 is out. And so like I've heard nothing but good things about it. I just need to spend more time with my Switch is what I think it is. And somebody in the Discord, actually both sides in the Discord, was like, hey, the Switch is uncomfortable in my hands. What do I do about that? And I didn't realize it, but that's why I haven't been playing it. Like everybody talks about how they play their Switch in handheld mode, and it's like, no, I just don't like holding it. So I need to get that going, and then I'll play like Mario and Rabbids, the first one, so that I can play the second one because everybody loves both of them, right? Like there's a bunch of great games that I just have not had a chance to dig into. And then Neon White is the last one. I had to look and see if there's anything else, but I'm like, I don't know, like 5 hours into Neon White or something like that. It's really, really good. I need to give it more time.
Yeah, I've played through it recently, and I was watching, and I was like, "Oh, I'm trying to compete with Dale's scores, and then they disappeared, and I was like, "Oh, he hasn't finished the game yet." And then I was competing against Zando's scores, and he didn't finish the game. So you guys, when you come back to it, I'm there.
We'll have your scores to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, for me, I played. The only thing I can think of right now that I was on my list that I hadn't played yet was Stray. I still would like to go back and actually play through that game. Obviously, it was up for indie and did quite well. So I'm excited to give it a shot. Everything else big this year that I wanted to play, I think I did. And I don't know. I just haven't. There wasn't 2022. There was nothing that surprised me when it came to games, other than how much I liked Elden Ring. Everything else I've enjoyed a lot.
Nice.
But I came in.
Now, was your Stray answer there inspired by the fact that Brodie's cat was like on his keyboard as you were answering?
Still is right now. Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, it was not. It was in the outline before. I was not typing this answer as I was giving it.
That is true. You did not pull a Brodie. All right, time for some fun predictions. Predict a game that's coming out this year that will end up being a surprise hit.
So I'll go first. My answer for this last year was Slime Rancher 2, which ended up being Slime Rancher 2 and not really anything to write home about except for a sequel.
It's also not out yet, though. It's in early access on, so you can't get it everywhere.
All right, so my answer is Slime Rancher 2 again.
Right.
No, great. No, so two things popped out to me that I thought could be very interesting, and we'll see how they go. The first one is a game called Wayfinder, which is something that popped up on the Steam store, and I hadn't really heard much about it, and I started reading through it. And it's a game that's being kind of co-developed, I think, by Digital Extremes, which are the folks behind Warframe. And it looks like a really interesting almost blend of like Warframe and Monster Hunter, where there are like there's like a shared world and you do quests and stuff, but there are also like really epic world boss fights that happen. To be honest, they just kind of have the default talk track right now, but it's the kind of stuff that looks good to someone like me. Now, I don't know how it's going to end up being, but it looks really good. And we'll see how it ends up being. The other one that I want to be so good, and I've been talking about it since I saw the trailer for it, it looks so fucking ridiculous, is Exo Primal. I want this game to be so good. Like a fucking tear happens in space-time and a bunch of dinosaurs come out of it and you got to shoot them. This sounds totally ridiculous in the best way. I'm all of my Serious Sam, like, themeless bullshit game hype is going right toward this. So if Exoprimal ends up being good, I'd love to talk to everybody about it next year.
That's the game that's like zombies but dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, and it's like you're in big like Anthem like power suits.
Yeah.
Looks
God, I want that to be awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? It looks fucking great.
I looks have dumb no as clue hell, what this is, but I'm excited now to look up based on everything you just said.
I'm pretty sure one of the trailers, you should go watch it, is like, today's forecast is cloudy with a chance of dinosaurs. And all of a sudden it just starts fucking raining dinosaurs from the sky. So
it sounds
man, I love it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Games that I think sound amazing that are coming out this year. I think Alan Wake 2 has a chance to be a breakout. When you look at the incredible love that Remedy got for Control, much deservedly, by the way. Like, Control was awesome. The fact that they are going back to Alan Wake, I think Alan Wake 2 is going to be way, way bigger than Alan Wake 1. Alan Wake 1 was like a critical darling, but it didn't have like the best sales. But I think that, the pedigree and the reputation that Remedy has earned will make Alan Wake 2 way bigger. Also, there is a game coming out this year called WrestleQuest, which looks like a pro wrestling turn-based RPG. Oh. And all of the trailers look absolutely ridiculous and amazing. And so I hope that it is just like amazing. And I hope next year people are talking about WrestleQuest the way people talk about shit like Stardew Valley, right? Because it's another one of those like really small publisher. I'm not sure if it's one dude, but it might be like just a couple people. It looks great though.
I mean, that
Gannon,
sounds like a
got?
total Dale game. So I hope, for your sake,
Yeah.
I hope it's good too.
I'm jazzed on it.
So the key word being here, surprise, right? There's games that I want to be hits. Like I want Armored Core to do really well. I want other games to do really well that aren't probably getting as much hype. But the surprise hit for me, I'm wondering if this God of Rock game is going to do well. It's a rhythm-based fighting game. So like it's got rhythm tracks, but there is fighting and EX, and like you have EX moves, special moves. You have a super move in the end as well too, where you're playing a rhythm game against somebody else. Very interested to see how this goes. It seems like a very new and kind of surprising mechanic. At least for me, maybe someone else has done it better before in the past and I just didn't know about it, but it's like really weird, but I like got that like Guitar Hero, but also a little bit of fighting game stuff in it. So that looks really fun to me. And then another one that I want to do well, but it probably won't because it's a sequel. Just like it's not like a surprise hit, but I would like Kerbal Space Program to do really well in February when it comes out.
Oh wow! Okay.
I'm sorry. How did you pronounce that?
Kerbal?
Isn't it Kerbal? Is it Kerbal?
I don't know. Is it?
I hope it's Kerbal. It's much sillier that way.
I don't know.
But yeah, Kerbal Space Program 2 looks like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be great.
So just real quick, I did load up. I hadn't heard of God of Rock at all. But I loaded up the Steam page and I have like one of the trailers going, and I legitimately have no fucking idea what's happening, right? And it's showing like in the moment gameplay footage, and I have no idea how any of this works.
I mean, I don't know how it works either right now, but it looks like it's a rhythm game. So you got your different tracks. You hit it when it comes close. But they got a special meter. They got ultras. They got EXs. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see how that all works out.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I had never heard of it, but I have already wishlisted. So
right on.
Yeah,
and it comes out in April. So
yeah, not too far.
That's not February. So that's good. There's so many games coming out in February. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of games coming out in February, which game has the biggest chance of becoming a flop? Brodie, your answer comes out in February.
Yeah. Well, so. It's funny because this was a game that I was in our 2022 kind of looking forward one question. I said this is a game that I was really excited about, and then like it's done nothing but shit the bed. And I feel like it's at a really critical moment right now. The game is Forspoken, and like so they had a really bad ad campaign that ran that's like, I bet you wonder how we ended up here, and it was just really stupid and cheesy. And then like after that subsided, they released the demo, and the demo, which is available on PlayStation Store, is like confused. They just straight up don't explain some of the mechanics, and they require you to figure it out on their own. There's a whole like grappling system that's in the game that's how you move around the world and stuff, and like the colors and stuff. It just, there's a lot of problems with the game, and I feel like unless they really tighten it up from where the demo was, the game went from being something that I was excited about, and probably a lot of people were excited about, ad campaign notwithstanding, to like it's gonna pull like a 60 on Metacritic, and it's just gonna be like a bargain bin game for a lot of people. So
yeah, it's fun. Twitter, I remember when that demo came out, and I saw so many people on Twitter, that the people I follow, just being like, "Thanks for releasing this demo. Now I can not want it. Like I'm removing it from. I canceled my pre-order and things like that."
Yeah. The demo is not good. I really wanted it to be good, but was just like, God, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how the fuck does this game work?
I played the demo for about an hour, and I spent probably 30 of those minutes trying to jump across a chasm to get a cat.
Yep.
And you mentioned something about a grapple system that you use to move around the world, and I didn't know that was in there. So maybe that's why it took so long.
Right, because they never mention it. Yeah, so there are those like crystals that come out of the wall at certain points. And I thought at first it was like, oh, I like shoot it with magic. And it's like, that didn't do anything. No, you grapple onto those and like do like a Prince of Persia style, like flip off of them.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a major world traversal mechanic that's going to be, I'm sure, central to the main game. And they said literally zero about it.
it deserves to fail. Gannon, what's your answer?
I think Bayonetta Origins. Like, I think that's gonna flop because no one, not like it ventures so far away from what Bayonetta is that it doesn't feel like it's going to it's gonna like hit its target audience. So that's my guess of things that are gonna flop as a whole. They're taking a risk. I appreciate that, but I don't with the whole thing with the voice actor and then and that flopping and then Bayonetta 3. Apparently you can play some of Origins in there, but everybody that I've seen, it looks like it's probably going to flop. So
that's a fair point.
Yeah. What was the game where you played as War? And then the third one was something Genesis.
Darksiders.
Thank you. Yeah. It seems like they're doing a Darksiders here, where it's like, it's a Devil May Cry clone, and then suddenly it's a third-person action adventure thing, So I don't know. Seems weird though. Definitely seems weird. My answer is a whole chunk of hardware. It's the PSVR 2. I don't think it's going to do well. And I don't think it's going to do well for a couple different reasons. First off, it is not backwards compatible with PSVR 1 games.
Big problem.
It is the cost of the console, and the console is still hard to get. And so it's like, are you going to spend over $1,000 to play like 6 VR 2 games? Like, if you could buy it and have like this huge catalog of games that you could already play, maybe you could justify the cost. But to be able to spend almost as much as you spend on a Valve Index to play like 6 games, and one of them is like a Horizon game that I watched gameplay for, and it is not impressive. I do not think VR2 is going to do well at all. Now, that being said, Sony has enough money that they could wait it out. Maybe it doesn't sell well this year, but they develop some killer apps for it, that sort of thing. And it comes back next year. But this year, I think the VR2 is going to flop. I think it's going to fall on its ass.
And the really pivotal thing for me is I think that this would be a totally different story if it were backward compatible. Like, just because 100%. You have that library, right? Like, aside from that, you're spending that much money, to your point. Buy a Valve Index, buy something that on the PC you get all kinds of stuff for. Yeah, I agree.
And the other thing too is that PSVR, there are ways of actually connecting it up to a PC and using it through a PC, which I think also increased its value. And everything that the creators of the people who created the bridge essentially to allow that to happen, they're like, it's not going to work. And I'm not surprised. PlayStation's made some really interesting choices when it comes to peripheral with the PS5, and I don't think it's going to work outside of the PS5.
Yeah, which is a bummer because it's using some really cool technology. Like, there's this technology where it tracks where your eyes are looking, and it renders those in full HD, and then it renders your like peripheral at a lower resolution so as to like free up system resources to make it as crisp as possible. Like, there's some cool fucking tech behind it, but man, the fact that it's not backwards compatible is just going to kill it. I think
it's rough.
Yeah.
So there's been a bunch of games that people have announced, and then we've heard nothing about. What games do we want to hear updates about this year?
God, I so want 2023 to be the year where we actually, I'm not going to be greedy and say we're going to get the game, but I really want an update on what the hell's going on with Metroid Prime 4. Like, it's been a long time since they've talked about anything about it beyond like Nintendo at one point going, well, we need to kind of rethink things, and we're moving stuff around with Namco and Retro Studios. God, just something. Is it still being worked on? I want it.
Dale,
Yeah.
you took my actual answer, so I would like you to go first.
Okay, my answer is the KOTOR remake. BioWare, what the fuck are you doing? Just print the money already.
Seriously.
Just make the game, print the money. I bought KOTOR. I will be rebuying KOTOR when it comes out. Like I want it again. I want it again. I played it once, like the first time, and had my literal mind blown out the top of my head. I want it again. Do it.
Yeah.
Figure your shit out.
It definitely is it's a shame. It's a shame that everything happened and they pulled that back.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you who aren't aware, KOTOR is short for Knights of the Old Republic. I guess I
Star
should
Wars.
say that.
Yeah, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah.
Which is great. If you can play it on they have it on Steam and on the iOS store and Google store and all that stuff, the original, but
it's not gonna look as good.
It's not. I mean, on PC you can mod the shit out of it.
That's true.
You can mod the shit out of it.
You can also, some modder like added in a deleted chapter or something. Like there's all sorts of crazy shit you can do on PC.
Yeah. Yeah, my answer, since Dale took my original one, is StarCraft Ghost. I've been excited about that since I saw the Game Informer magazine back in like what was like 1990 something like that. Yeah, it was something I wanted for a very long time. I think it was officially canceled in 2015, but you never know. Maybe when they fire Bobby Kotick this year, the new person will be like, yeah, we're bringing back StarCraft Ghost.
We got to get this made. I love this so much.
Got to do it.
Oh my God. I love this so much. I really hope we get StarCraft Ghost.
Yeah, it was announced in 2002 and canceled in 2014.
Oh, okay.
So it's coming back, baby.
Let's do it.
You heard it here first.
All right. So last year we had a question in our 2022 preview, and we're gonna ask that same question again because the game got delayed. So God of War Ragnarok was released and it received critical acclaim. What do we think the future holds for Breath of the Wild 2 Tears of the Kingdom? Not tears, tears.
I mean, I'm still kind of in the same place, and I say that, of course, not having finished Ragnarok, but played hopefully enough of it that I know how good it is, which was very, very, very good. But like, as long as they don't try and do something totally off the wall and kind of stick to the script, I think that it's going to be good. And that's kind of all I want, is just something that kind of tries to capture the same magic. I think that they have the most to, I said this before and I'll say it again. Like I think Breath of the Wild has the most to lose, just in the way that it revolutionized kind of the open world mechanics. And I'm genuinely curious to see how a game like that plays in the wake of a game like Elden Ring, which took that and then, fed it PCP basically, and it went crazy in a great way. But yeah, I hope it's amazing. I think it could be better, but I also think that they could make some decisions that could really cut it down a couple pegs. So I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of second that. I think it's gonna be like great. I don't know if it's gonna live up to the hype, because I think we've all blown it to the point of it's going to be this amazing game, but I feel like it's going to feel like DLC for Breath of the Wild, like a second campaign for Breath of the Wild, because I just don't think that they have the ability to do anything from a mechanic or standpoint, from a mechanic or mechanic or like a system standpoint. But not even, I'm sorry, graphically, like the Switch, there's not going to be a big jump, right? And part of the thing that Breath of the Wild was this huge jump for 3D Zelda, and how amazing it looked in comparison to like your Skyward Sword. And I don't think some of those technological things, and who knows, can they recapture the same like systems that were exploited with the whole combat thing, which is also part of the reason that people love this game, of being able to see all the things that people are able to explore in the bag. So is it the same physics engine? Is it going to be the exact same game? Then it's going to be kind of a letdown, because it's like, oh, we have the same engine, we have the same game, just with a new story. And there's not going to be any advances other than just more Breath of the Wild to play.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is definitely a good point. I initially wrote this as a joke, but I would not be surprised to see it get delayed again. I would not be surprised to see it get delayed again. And for my reasoning why, I'm going to move right into the next question, which is, the Steam Deck was the biggest surprise of last year, and 2021 to some extent. Do we anticipate any other hardware surprises? And I'm going to go first, because I think Nintendo is going to announce the next Switch iteration. I think, the Switch has been out since 2016. It was pretty underpowered when it released. So I fully anticipate that they're going to make a backwards compatible new Switch, and it'll probably have some dumb Nintendo gimmick that they just found out about, like, oh, it has to always be online, or like it's only digital, or like some dumb Nintendo like thing that they can do where it's like, oh, you got to have cards that you slide through a card reader, like whatever, right? But I think that what'll end up happening is Breath of the Wild 2 is going to get that Twilight Princess vibe going, where it's like, oh, you can play it on the old system and it's good, or you can play it on the new system and that's how it's meant to be played, right? And it would make a ton of sense for them to do that, especially because they did it in the past.
That's possible. And certainly I would love for them to make some relevant hardware. And it seems like with the stuff that like the computer companies are doing, for example, like it seems like they should be able to come up with something now with the advancements in chips and whatnot to be competitive. It really does. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know.
Warming tray in there, Nintendo. Don't be a coward.
Yeah, do it. But
so what's your guys' answers? What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, mine was going to be the PSVR, and I think actually in tandem with the kind of specter of new PS5 models being released, because they've been rumored for a while. And I mean, that's still kind of a bold move in a world where the supply chain still isn't caught up. So I don't know. I think it's all up in the air. I think Sony's made some poor decisions in the past, and I'm not going to blaze any new trails based on what Dale said. He pretty much hit the nail on the head here. So we'll just have to see. But I would be very curious if they try and go with like a PS5 Slim or something this year. That would really blow my mind.
Yeah, I haven't really put a lot of thought or time into the hardware releases, so I'm going to kind of leave it to you guys on the answer here and say let's see what happens in 2023. So
yeah. Side question to this, and this is just one that popped into my head. You guys think Valve announces a new Steam Deck iteration, or do you think that that's probably like next year or 2 years from now?
Probably not yet. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I mean, they just started getting them in stock. What, the like last couple months of 2022, right?
Yeah, like late November, or October ish. That's when they started becoming purchasable.
I'm just thinking, based on Valve's history, what'll probably happen is they're going to hotshot out a sequel, and then they'll never release a third one.
All right.
They don't. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair. They may release a second one, but it took a very long time for Half-Life 2 to come out after Half-Life 1.
Fair enough.
And we haven't seen Index 2, so I actually don't think they're going to be doing anything new with it for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So because of sales concerns, Ubisoft recently announced staffing cuts and game delays, including Skull of Bones, which was a game that was announced in 2017. This, coupled with other seemingly indefinitely delayed games like Beyond Good and Evil 2, begged the question, are those games coming out?
No idea. No fucking idea. Skull and Bones has been delayed a million trillion times.
Good.
I think you said good.
It looks like shit.
It does look like shit.
The true Sea of Thieves enthusiasts coming through here.
It's not the Sea of Thieves enthusiasts. When they did their gameplay thing where people could watch the stream. Like it looks like Assassin's Creed, the ship part, except that's it. Like,
okay.
It doesn't look great. It looks like a subsystem of a different game.
And it seems like that would have been fine if they released it between when Black Flag came out and then they did anything else. But
right?
Yeah, I'm fair enough. Fair enough.
I watched the just a small like clip of the live play that they did, and to harvest wood, you just park your ship next to some trees on an island, and then as you sit there, you get wood. Like your wood counter goes up just for being near the trees, and you just have to wait. And that's the game. That's gameplay to them.
Love it.
It's like, what?
That's great.
It looks like ass.
Maybe you'll be able to buy a horse skin for your wood.
Oh, terrible. Also, Beyond Good and Evil, I mean, it was beloved, but it did not sell very well.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft at this point seems like it is just such a huge machine that they need every release to be huge. Like they need every release to be like a blockbuster hit. And I do not think either of these games fit the bill, you know? And we have seen Ubisoft be absolutely ruthless this past year. They released that roller derby game. I can't remember what it was called at this point.
Roller Dome, right?
No, that was different.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I forgot what the name of the game is.
I can't remember what it was called. But it came out in like March, and it was like free to play. It was on PlayStation Plus, like all this stuff. And then they like decommissioned the servers in like July. So Ubisoft is not fucking around when it comes to failures. They're like, we got no patience for this shit.
Are you thinking Roller Champions?
That's it. Roller Champions. Yes. I played it. I actually enjoyed it, but there was no reason to like try and like pay any money for the cosmetics or anything. The game was not good enough to warrant paying to play it. And Ubisoft was like, hey, this game's not good enough to warrant paying for the servers. So we're taking that shit down.
I guess that's what happens when you become known as the Assassin's Creed company, and then Assassin's Creed, people start getting tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. All right, so you guys know what time it is?
Time for a sponsored question.
It is. It's time for our sponsored question. This question is actually sponsored by Crystal Balls, every clairvoyant's favorite energy drink. That's right. The new flavor, Crystal Balls, for the energy drink Balls. Sold at Micro Center, probably on the internet, and probably like, I don't know, in the back of a bodega, like behind other soft drinks. I don't know. I haven't seen that shit in a while, but they're sponsoring us, so I got to talk about it. Yeah, Brodie just changed it live in the show notes again. I love it. All right, name a game that you hate that hasn't even come out yet. Like throw your gauntlet into the future and slap some code in the face.
All right, I am so sick at this moment in time of the like Niantic Pokemon Go, we're going to try it again games. And so Dale, right before this episode, let me know about a game called NBA All World, which is just that, where you walk around collecting hoopsters or whatever you call them. I don't know, basketball players, hoopmans, jumpmans.
I guarantee it's hoopsters.
Yep. And I got to tell you, also Marvel World of Heroes, which is you go around, of course, collecting Supermans. And I got to tell you, I'm just these games. Look, Pokemon Go is great. You don't have to do it again. You might not ever be able to do it again. I played the Harry Potter one, which wasn't very good. I played the Witcher one, which wasn't very good. Like
that one was so bad.
Yeah, like we just need to make peace with the fact that like there was Ingress, there was Pokemon Go. Everybody in the world played Pokemon Go for at least 5 minutes. Let's stop making these games. Please, let's stop making these games.
Yeah. The worst part about NBA All World is looking at it. The focus isn't necessarily on like collecting the hoops bands or whatever Brodie said. Yes. It's on like collecting clothing and like sneakers and like, so a large focus, at least in the trailers that I've seen, is like get the drip, you know? It's like,
okay,
are you fucking kidding me? Are you going to have like a Foot Locker sponsorship where you go into Foot Locker and get like special Foot Locker gear and like is it just like marketing, but in a Niantic game?
Yeah, it's going to be like you got a shoebox, but because it's the hardest to open shoebox in the world, it's going to take you 8 hours to open unless you spend the hoop bucks.
Or you can buy box cutters to open the tape now.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
courtside cash.
Ugh. Yeah. Seems bad. Seems bad. Speaking of seeming bad, I'm gonna throw a controversial one out here. Hogwarts Legacy can fuck right off, right? So here's the thing about Hogwarts Legacy. J.K. Rowling is a bigot.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can debate that, right? She's just come out and said it. She's a bigot. She is against trans folks. Trans folks, they're human beings. You should not be against human beings. Money that goes towards Hogwarts Legacy goes into J.K. Rowling's pocket. Whether or not you decide to vote with your wallet or not is up to you. That said, I'm not going to give any money to somebody who is a transphobe. Fair. In addition to that, a big plot point is the goblins are revolting. The goblins are basically an anti-Semitic cartoon, right? And this game is all about beating the shit out of them so that way they don't rise up and take back their freedom. And it's like, holy shit, you could have picked a million different plot points for this game, right? There's like all these beasts that you could go out and fight. You could save the school. You could do all like wizard dueling. Like, oh, the Dementors are coming back. No, fight like, a Jewish caricature or whatever. Like, holy shit, how do you miss the mark this bad, this hard? Like, it's insane to me. It's insane to me. And it's insane to me that there are people on Twitter who are like, I don't care, I'm buying the game. I like Harry Potter. And it's like, you bastard. Don't give racists money. Don't give bigots money. Just, it's so easy. Oh, yeah. So fuck Hogwarts Legacy. Right? That said, everybody's fighting their own battles. I understand if you don't want to fight this battle, but man, is it an easy battle to fight. You just have to skip this. There's like 300 video games coming out this year. Skip this one, and you've done it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. Gannon, what's your answer?
Let me get on mine. Diablo 4.
Oof.
Same reason.
Same fucking reason. I don't need to go into it more than that. Like, it just hurts too, because it's like, it's these iconic series, these things that we care about so much between Harry Potter and Diablo, and it just sucks that you're kind of put in this choice. But that's my game, so we're gonna bookend it. We're gonna bookend it. We start the episode with some Diablo 4, and I'm gonna end the episode with some Diablo 4.
Should have ended with some
cool if people stop being shitty.
Yeah,
it'd be so cool. It'd be so much easier to enjoy the things that people created if no one was shitty.
Yeah,
very true.
Supported like a frat boy environment in a workplace. Oh God, fire Bobby Kotick out of a cannon.
That's true. Yes,
please, straight into the sun.
Yeah.
And then I will gladly play the game.
Yeah. You guys got any other predictions for 2023?
That most of our predictions will be bad.
I don't know, man. I think I'm doing pretty well. You planning on buying a PSVR 2?
Not anymore.
Gannon?
No, I'm not.
That's 3 of us.
All right.
There we go. Wonderful.
My only other prediction is that there's going to be a lot of angry people regarding Final Fantasy 16. That's my last prediction.
Ooh, why do you think that that's true?
I recently, when they were talking to Yoshi P about the PC port, he was like, "PC port? What?"
Like, oh yeah.
All right.
It's in all the promotional materials, like also available on PC, and Yoshi P is just like, No, man, I didn't know about that.
I didn't read that.
Buy a PS5 is what he said.
It's so good. Do you not have phones? Oh, use them to buy a PS5.
We said it a few times that PS5s are pretty difficult to get. They actually are a lot easier to get now. They're showing up in stores.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, that's great. Cool. Anything else we need to say?
No, man.
No,
all right, well, fuck you, Dan. Tell the people where you can be found.
You can find me on the Discord pretty much only right now as Arborescence.
Yeah, late night when you can't sleep and you should go downstairs and get some warm milk and a cookie to fall asleep. You can find me in the Discord because I'll be there.
Dude, late night, I've been going straight goblin mode and just going downstairs and eating like a full extra meal. It's a really bad habit and I need to break it. So you can, if it's like midnight 30, you can find me in my kitchen eating over my sink. Every other time, you can find me in the Discord, on Twitch. I'm still on Twitter for some reason. I'm on Mastodon. I'm on Hive. If you're a spam bot, you can find me on Snapchat. That's the only people adding me on Snapchat. I've had like 7 spam bots. So you can find me in all of those places. You can find all of our stuff, though. If you're like, I wasn't paying attention. I get it. You can find all of it on superokpodcast.com. That's our website. All of our stuff is there. We got a YouTube channel. We got, old articles from last year. I think we just broke a year since we wrote the last one. If you've got an article you want us to write, let us know. We'll do it. But otherwise, we ain't doing it. That's what that comes down to. And you can find us on
2023. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man.
You want us to write an article? Everything. Write it yourself and send it to us.
Turn down for everything is my motto for 2023. Like, fuck turning up. I'm turning down. Also, if you're a Patreon, we love you dearly, and you'll be able to see the show notes. Yeah. Thanks so much. All right, everybody, say goodbye. Turn down, though.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Hope you have a super okay day.